Welcome to another podcast in which we'll be talking about James Mahu's essay, The Nature of Belief Constructs. Sophia and Phil greet you from the microphone.
Hello to everyone.
What if everything you believe about reality was actually created by your own mind? Today we're exploring how our beliefs literally shape the world we experience, and the implications are absolutely mind-bending.
You know what fascinates me most about this topic, Sophia? The idea that nearly every spiritual tradition throughout history has arrived at this same conclusion that our beliefs create our reality.
Yes, Phil, and what's really interesting is how modern quantum physics is starting to catch up to what mystics have been saying for thousands of years. The observer effect shows that consciousness literally affects physical reality at the quantum level.
That's such a profound connection. So how do we make sure our beliefs are actually supporting our highest potential?
Well, the framework we're looking at today breaks this down into 8 fundamental belief constructs that form the architecture of reality itself. Let's start with the first one, what's called the one and all.
Oh, right. That's the idea that there's this primary creative force that both contains and creates everything, but without all the religious baggage usually attached to it.
Exactly, and what's fascinating is how it connects to the second construct about consciousness. This idea that we're both individual and universal simultaneously. Like, right now, I'm me having this conversation, but I'm also connected to everything that exists.
That reminds me of this amazing experiment where scientists discovered that particles can be entangled and affect each other instantaneously across any distance. It's like the universe is proving this interconnection at the smallest scale.
You know what's wild? The third construct about wholeness suggests that existence and non existence are both infinite but eternally separate. It's like trying to imagine a circle with no beginning or end, but also everything outside that circle.
Well, that's making my head spin. But I suppose that leads us to the fourth construct about free will, how it's actually the universe's method for creating authentic learning.
Right? And here's where it gets really practical. The fifth construct shows how everything stems from original design and intention. Like, even this conversation we're having right now was first a possibility before it became reality.
Hmm, so does that mean everything is predetermined?
Not exactly. The sixth construct about reality shaping incarnation suggests we exist first as this sovereign integral, like our highest self, and then we choose to incarnate into different forms for unique experiences. It's more like improvising within a framework.
That's exactly what quantum physics suggests about probability waves collapsing into specific outcomes only when observed. It's like we're choosing which reality to experience from infinite possibilities.
And speaking of infinite possibilities, the seventh construct about reality simulation is mind-blowing. It suggests we're actually creating our own reality simulation, not like in a computer, but through our consciousness itself.
Well, that explains why two people can experience the same event completely differently. They're literally creating different simulations based on their beliefs and expectations.
You know what's fascinating? Research has shown that our brains actually filter out most of the sensory information we receive and only show us what we expect to see. We're literally creating our reality in real time.
That's incredible. And I suppose the eighth construct about expansion ties it all together, how consciousness is constantly reaching for greater understanding across all dimensions.
Exactly. And here's where synchronicity comes in. Those meaningful coincidences that Carl Jung talked about. They're like little messages from our higher self, showing us we're on the right track.
So how do we actually apply all this in our daily lives?
Well, the key is understanding that these aren't just abstract concepts, they're the operating system of reality itself. When we align our beliefs with these fundamental patterns, we start to flow more easily with life.
That reminds me of that coastline measurement analogy, how measuring at different scales gives you completely different results. Our beliefs are like that measuring stick, determining what we can perceive and experience.
Yes. And what's really liberating is that this framework isn't about achieving specific outcomes. It's not saying believe this and you'll get rich. It's about achieving harmony with the greater whole.
Well, that's quite different from how most people approach belief systems, usually looking for some practical benefit or outcome.
And that's why traditional religious constructs often feel outdated. While personal development can miss the bigger picture, this framework bridges that gap, offering both profound understanding and practical application.
So, what's the key takeaway for someone just starting to explore these ideas?
I'd say it's about recognizing that your beliefs aren't just passive thoughts, they're active forces shaping your experience of reality. Start paying attention to what you believe, and you'll start seeing how those beliefs manifest in your life.
That's powerful. And it's not about getting it right, it's about finding your own authentic way of understanding these patterns.
Exactly. And remember, this journey of understanding isn't about changing the world, it's about aligning with the natural flow of existence. When we do that, change happens organically.
Well, this has been absolutely fascinating. Any final thoughts?
Just that everyone listening should take these ideas as starting points for their own exploration. Your understanding will be unique to you, and that's exactly how it should be. After all, we're all creating our own reality. Might as well do it consciously.
Yes, exactly. Now it's up to the listeners to study the essay for themselves. It will certainly help them to understand the concept of the nature of belief constructs in a deeper way. You can find the link in the text below the video.
Goodbye from the mic, Sophia.
Goodbye, Phil.